It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Welcome to 2K Sports, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson, sitting alongside the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal, and the prop plane, Kenny Smith. And tonight our broadcast will be shifting to Atlanta, where we'll see the Hawks going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers. For the Cavaliers, we've kind of waited and waited for this team to come together and start producing, but it just hasn't happened. And now we've gotten pretty deep into the season, so time's not on their side. Tonight, two teams that crash the glass. Kenny, when you think of the great rebounders in this league, what are some of their key attributes?
Oh, they get that position, and then they hold it. They maintain it. That's the key.
Maintaining the position.
Yes, because you can get pushed under. And if you come down with the rebound yourself, you can't do it, let's say, just tip it out. Great rebounders do that too. They'll just tip it out to the guards, and then we can start the fast break.
What's the key to good rebounding?
You got to assume every shot is going to be missed. And, Ernie, nothing replaces great hustle.
Oh, that's true. That is so true.
I could box you out.
I know you
I would keep you off the glass.
Oh, no question.
Yeah. Kevin Harlan standing by.
You and your 6 rings.
There you go again.
Greetings and best wishes for a happy holiday season from all of us at 2K Sports as we get set for this NBA presentation. Joined in the booth with Greg Anthony and Brent Barry, this is Kevin Harlan. Our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. And a one-game homestand for Atlanta as the Hawks will try to recharge their batteries on their home court. The Cavaliers beat them last time when these two teams met in Cleveland. That was their second loss in 2 games. Now they've got a chance to turn the tide and get back on course.
Just didn't like the energy level in that one, and that offensive execution also was lacking.
Now, they made a few shots, Greg, but just wildly inconsistent.
Now a chance, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. The starting 5 on the floor. On the court for Cleveland, Love is the 4 with Thompson in the middle. Sexton is out there with Clarkson. And it's Osman in at the 3 spot. And so Clarkson will bring it up for Cleveland.
Well, the Hawks were super young last year, and they had all the troubles that come with youth. Inconsistency, guys trying to find out what their role is for the year. Lots of turnover problems and questionable shot selection. And now they're younger this year. So if you're a fan of the Hawks, patience is the key.
And so it's the Cavaliers getting on the board first. Jones kicks to Collins. Young taking his time here. Sexton with it. 20 points for him last game against Miami. And there's the pass to Clarkson. Sexton dishes to Love. And the dunk by Love.
Well, if Kevin Love gets that deep and has that kind of room, he's going to make sure of it with the jam.
Young outside. Back to Crabbe. That shot off the mark. And Cleveland the other way now. They're moving on after the tough loss they took at the hands of Miami.
No other way to put it. Defense was awful. Completely uninspired at that end of the floor.
Yeah, scanning the box score here, and you could just see the turnover differential failing to cause any sort of mistakes. And then on the offensive end, just a lack of focus.
And so it's Atlanta with it. The Cavaliers making the shot.
Well, Thompson lives in the paint, and defensively, occasionally, you're going to get to shots like that.
Shots good by Clarkson.
Yeah, they're going to have a nice little run here.
Here in the first quarter with about 2 minutes gone by. Young outside. Drains the three-pointer.
And that's exactly what he's looking for, draining the triple.
For Cleveland, they've gotten 4 of 6 field goal attempts to drop in the first quarter. Clarkson looking for an opening. Thompson passes to Sexton. Shot clock at 5. Osman kicks to Thompson. Off the mark from 16 feet out.
And he completely threw the timing off on that jumper. That is how you D up.
Playing with tremendous aggressiveness without fouling. That's an excellent job.
The Hawks working the ball around. Young against Love. To the middle. Here's Jones.
Tristan did a great job of elevating that time to contest, did not stay on the deck.
And they've done a nice job controlling the defensive backboard to start this game.
I like the physicality there on the glass on full display. Great at hitting the boards and then capitalizing off the second chance opportunity.
You can see it all over the league. Injuries, Brent, beginning to affect some teams, but it's hard to pay your stars and maintain a deep bench all under the salary cap. It's a very difficult dance to do.
This is why sitting next to you as a broadcaster is a really less stressful thing to do.
Yeah,
rather
right.
than be a general manager in the league.
Yeah.
So hard to make.
But you could be a general manager in this league.
Maybe at some point, Kevin, but right now I'm enjoying this seat with you. And I'm wondering how it is that some of these teams can get creative with cap analytics guys and their strategy, how much they want to press forward, given some of the restrictions of what you can do with your roster. But we know the more players you have that can step in and be ready, these deeper teams during the regular season usually pile up a few more wins than those that don't have that approach. And his touch has just been a little bit absent this quarter, and he's missing a ton of shots.
Osman. Collins grabs the miss, and there's the call on Jetty Osman. That is his first foul of the game. Alex Lenz checked in for Damian Jones. Then for the Cavaliers, Nance comes in for Jetty Osman. And it's Brandon Knight in for Clarkson. To the right side. Now here's Crabbe. He's guarded by Knight. Back to Collins. And he lays it straight in. Collins has got his first basket of the night.
A guy who converts well at the rim. You like to see the aggression there.
Yeah, it's the first quarter, and he's already in attack mode, setting the tone right here.
Now here's Nance. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. Herter, he's guarded by Knight. Crabbe in the corner. That one's in, his first bucket of the game. He's 1 for 2.
Well, still feeling his way around the pick and roll. Crabbe makes a decisive move that time.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Cavaliers. Even after a number of years in this league, Glenn still feels like a developmental project.
Well, out of the 5 positions, centers seem to be not only the latest guys to develop, but also with the way the game is going, you wonder what their position is in today's game. You look at Marcus Gasol, he didn't become elite until he turned about 30 years old. Hassan Whiteside, DeAndre Jordan. It takes some time, Kevin.
And the Cavaliers making a change here. Henson's checked in. Inside. Love finds Nance. Shoots over Turner. And another miss by Cleveland. Pass to Bembry. Back to Turner. 6 on the shot clock. Softly drops in the floater. Turner's got his first points of the game.
Turner does a good job of just winding his way and burrowing to the rim. And a good job finishing down low.
Now here's Sexton. Defense right on him. And Sexton slams it in.
And how about the execution on that play? The screen was set up in exactly the right spot.
And the finish wasn't too bad either.
Yeah, it's funny how you see so many picks, but this one sets up the defense well. No one rotates over. Bang.
Shots good from Young.
Yeah, that was the third straight high percentage look the defense has allowed. The defenders have got to start putting bodies on bodies.
Now Knight coming in off a 10-point performance last game out. In the corner, Nance with it to the left wing. Kicks it out to Love. A three-pointer off the mark. Here's Atlanta now. This run now up to 13-2. And that one's good. Parker.
That's a beauty from Parker there, making hard shots look incredibly easy.
They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
Land against Henson. Back to Knight. Pass to Love. That one no good. Good D by Parker. And stolen by Sexton. Feeds to Love. Draws contact on the shot, and now a three-point play chance as he'll head to the line.
You got to try and do a little bit better against Love. His focus that time remarkable. Even with the contact, he ends up scoring the basketball.
Well, Greg, we know that Kevin Love is a great passer, but just how much more does that open up for his team?
I mean, his outlets get the team up and moving in terms of transition faster than probably anyone else could. It's very hard to double Love with the ball, as his awareness and that passing that you mentioned immediately will find the open man. And Love's passing alone is probably worth about 10 extra points a game for his team.
And that one falls for Love.
And, you know, with LeBron leaving Cleveland in the offseason, many assumed Love would be traded as well to rebuild. Ended up doing the opposite as he signed a long-term extension with the Cavs to remain in Cleveland. Not many would have guessed that of LeBron, Kyrie, and Kevin, it would be Love to be the last Cav standing.
And it's sent back by Turner. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Turner. A different look now for Cleveland. Zizic has checked in for Love. And it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Sexton. Hawks on D. The score now all even.
This is a huge part of Dellavedova's game, draining spot-up jump shots.
And Turner kicks to Parker. He feeds it to Lamb. And the dunk by Lamb.
That's a good read by Jabari, a solid passer, and he knew he could reward a teammate that time.
Pass to Zizic. Knight on the wing. And the layup's good off the glass. Knight's got the game tied up here for the Cavs.
Oh, nice screen. Really a poor defensive reaction and the obvious result.
Yeah, when you fail to get over the top, more than likely that jumper is going to go down.
And the foul called on Brandon Knight. That's his first foul. Henson against Parker. He dishes it to Carter. Just 5 on the clock. Over Dellavedova. He can't get it to go. And Cleveland the other way now.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backcourt.
This is a nice connection with Larry Nance Jr. Throw it his way. He'll take care of the rest.
And that was an unleashed chaos moment indeed. What a spectacular play. Sponsored by Under Armour Hover Havoc. Turner passes to Len. Nobody near Parker. But they get it back. The shot by Carter. Nobody around. Those 3-pointers off the mark. And here's Knight. He'll bring it up for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Kicks it to Henson. Here's Dellavedova. Goes to the reverse layup and drops it in. And now a 4-point Cavalier lead.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now they need a basket.
And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul. Shot misses. He'll be shooting 2.
Nice job by Evan Turner that time. Never backs down from getting hit, and a good job of getting to the free throw line on that possession.
The Hawks shooting their second and third shots at the line right here.
And they've shot the ball well this season in terms of their attempts. 81%.
That free throw, no good.
How about the Cavs last year, making it back to their 4th straight finals appearance alongside the Golden State Warriors. And for a team in a city that's just had so little to cheer and celebrate about, obviously LeBron James bringing their championship to them a couple years ago, ultimately the golden era of Cleveland Cavalier basketball.
He hits the second from the line. And the Cavs and Warriors last year in the finals, Brent, the Cavs had a chance to even the rivalry at 2 wins apiece.
Well, they did, Kevin, but pretty much outmatched last year in the finals. Just too much roster change and not enough firepower to overtake the Golden State Warriors. The depth just wasn't there. It was a great ride last year with LeBron getting back to his 8th finals, but they came up short.
And now we'll go to David Aldridge, who had a chance to talk with head coach Lloyd Pierce.
Well, Kevin, he talked about the importance of how tight-knit this group is. He said it's really starting to get to where they can read each other's minds out there. One guy can see another cutting without even looking up. It's a lot of fun to watch. They're hoping they can keep that fun up tonight. Back to you, Kevin.
As always, DA, appreciate the good work. So, guys, they want to see their shooting percentage high up there immediately.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're just hoping a few guys get hot. It means a commitment to finding good shots.
Well, they're very driven offensively as a team, so you don't have to worry about guys getting too lazy out there. They're just going to keep working and finding those open opportunities.
The Cavaliers leading by 7. And John Henson with the slam.
And doing their best to maximize possessions, just staying focused with this lead.
Well, it isn't much, but they've been able to capture some of the momentum of this game and increase their advantage.
Here is Carter following the score by John Henson. Knight for 3. They get it back, and there's the slam dunk to finish it off.
Yeah, pounding it inside once again. They have taken over this game physically.
Well, it's so nice to have the early lead. This is where you want to stick with what's working until somebody shuts you down.
The Cavaliers have made their only other free throw attempt today in an earlier trip to the line.
And when you got a team percentage of about 81%, you're going to be one of the elites in this league.
Looking at who's out there now for the Cavaliers. Thompson comes in for Henson. And it's Jordan Clarkson in for Knight.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
Well, Brent, as a former dunk contest winner, I have to ask your thoughts on one of the great Hawks of all time, the terrific human highlight film, Dominique Wilkins.
Well, Dominique, one of the greatest athletes this game has ever seen, and one of the most feared dunkers, obviously, of his era. You remember a lot of the highlights with Neek coming in, flying in, and finishing off a shot that might have missed from the opposite wing and going up over the top and 2 or 3 guys. So he certainly doesn't get enough credit nationally for the type of offensive firepower that Neek provided for his beloved Atlanta Hawks for years and years.
Here's Parker following the score by Cleveland, stolen by Thompson. Here's Osman, lays it in off the breakaway. Osman's got 8 points.
Yeah, off to a strong start here early. 6 points off second chance buckets.
7-second difference, shot and game clock. Herter got a piece of it, and they get it back. Jones, no one around him. Got it from 16 feet.
Well-coordinated shot mechanics, especially for a guy with his length.
Yeah, he's certainly able to shoot over the top of people. High percentage look right there from the mid-range.
Knocks down the 3 ball.
And already with the commanding lead, a terrific offensive performance.
And if you check out the strategy, you can see already the plays that they're calling. Feels like they found a weakness or two in the defense.
And so it's the Cleveland Cavaliers out in front by 17 points at the end of the quarter. They've been putting on a clinic in the paint. Shots are falling with regularity, and they are pounding it down low. And we'll be back with you shortly. You may not remember Vince Carter traded on draft night for his college teammate Antoine Jamison, but he talked about that crazy exchange.
So as I'm sitting back there, he's like, there's been a trade, Toronto Raptors and Golden State make a trade for Antoine Jamison and Vince Carter right there. So our families are sitting right next to each other. So they're fixing the hat, and all of a sudden it's like, all right, here's your hat. All right, give us that hat. Move forward. So it was just the weirdest thing.
The 5th and 6th picks in the draft, both of them went on to great careers.
And draft day trades happen all the time, but being traded for your college teammate, a pick apart, that's pretty unique.
And if you're just tuning in, we've got a wide margin on the scoreboard, but plenty of time left for a comeback. And for the Cavaliers, this has been the game they wanted to have.
Aggressive defense in that first period. They forced several miscues.
Well, you just start to wonder, how did we get to this score at the end of 1? I think those steals really established momentum in their favor.
They've got Jones. Jabari Parker is out there with Collins. Then it's Allen Crabbe. So that's the lineup for Atlanta. Lobbed up there for Thompson. Out of bounds, Atlanta takes possession.
And looking now at some numbers for Thompson. Over the last month, he has been spectacular, averaging 9 points per game, 13 rebounds, and 3 assists. And he's been a rock in the middle for them over that stretch of games. Dominating the glass is his trademark.
I feel like those rebounds are wearing down and eroding the opponent. His effort right now, physically and mentally, has been good.
Parker outside. It's good. It's his second basket. He's shooting 2 for 4.
Well, the D was there, but Parker too good.
Clarkson kicks to Thompson. Here's Osman, covered by Parker from 12 feet out. And that one goes long.
Those are the types of looks that you got to finish deep in the paint and limited defensive effort.
Right at the free throw line. That shot missing. And it's the Cavaliers taking it the other way. They'll be playing host to Miami for the next game. That'll be the first of 4 played at home for them. Dellavedova scanning the floor. And no one near Clarkson as he lets it go. Misses the 3. Knocked away. To the middle. Here's Jones. Oh, and the dunk by Jones.
And wait to finish and cut into that lead a little bit.
Yeah, but look at the basket, guys, still shaking. Now here's Crabb. He's covered by Clarkson. Elbow shot is on the way. Crabb, no good. Cleveland leading by 11. Shot's good by Clarkson.
Timeout.
Clarkson's got his second basket of the night.
Well, Clarkson can get inside. He's athletic to do that, and then needs the touch in that area. Showed it off there.
And Atlanta calls their first time out of the game. Let's talk about team defense, Brent. To develop trust, it seems like guys have got to communicate on the floor.
I talk to my friends often who ask me about playing an NBA game and playing defense. They first start with saying that I didn't play any, but the second thing we get to, Kevin, is talking about really how intricate good defenses can be. You talk about communication, that's one thing, but throughout the course of the season, you build so much sweat equity on defense and trust by knowing that somebody's going to be behind you, hearing that voice consistently, but positions on the floor where you almost develop play sets as a defensive team. Now, when you reach that level, that's the upper echelon, but that's when it really gets fun to be down on that end, to shut a team down, to keep a crowd quiet. Defense always begins with great communication.
So many things, rotations and playing angles. And having the guy in back, you know what you can do well, what you can't do well if you're ahead of him.
Well, that, Kevin, and also great teams who are adaptable to make changes on the fly. All of a sudden, a dead ball, coach calls out a different coverage. You want to mess up the team's rhythm on the other end, and five guys, they snap to it and can carry out that defensive assignment in one play call. That's great defense.
The Hawks trail by 13. Now about 3 minutes gone in this second quarter of basketball. Crabb kicks to Young. And the three ball is good. Young's got 5 points so far.
The first thing that jumps out at you about Young, that seemingly limitless shooting range and the spacing that affords for this offense.
Love against Collins. Shot clock at 6. That's tipped, but he recovers it. Clarkson dishes to Thompson. Cleveland needs to get a shot off here, and it's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over. And the Hawks making a change here. Len's checked in. And just over 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. And Sexton over to help. Back to Young. And the officials call him for a 3-second violation. And here's what the Cleveland Cavaliers schedule looks like. On Wednesday, they'll face off against Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. And then on Friday, they'll be matching up against Rudy Gobert and the Utah Jazz.
And you know, for that Pelicans game, it's going to be an all-out battle. And you just hope they are rested and able to execute their game plan, as it's going to be a tremendous challenge.
And that's a couple of very shaky possessions in a row. One turnover right after the other.
And here's Young. He'll bring it up for the Hawks. Their defense has only allowed 4 points in the quarter. Here's the floater. Thompson with the rebound. Thompson's got 4 rebounds now tonight. Clarkson finds Love, and Love throws it down.
Oh, why, dunk you very much.
He can really fly, and you combine that, Greg, with some nice penetration, too, and you've got 2 points. Here's Len. Score the basket, his second of 2 attempts.
Well, 7'1", 250-plus pounds. He's just so good at pushing through contact, as Alex Len.
Sexton, the pass to Love. To the inside. And there's Sexton. That's good on the assist by Love. Sexton's got his second basket of the game. The Atlanta Hawks coming to this one after the win against the Timberwolves at Target Center. Time called here. The Hawks decide to talk it over. And, of course, Colin Sexton. His college team once had to finish a game with only 3 players.
Yeah, and he scored 40 that night. I mean, almost led him to a victory. He loves to play under the bright lights, brings great energy and enthusiasm every night.
Turner's checked in for Atlanta. Carter comes in for Alan Crabb, and then for Cleveland. John Henson's checked in for Thompson. Nance comes in for Jetty Osman, and it's Brandon Knight in for Jordan Clarkson. Good on that shot, and with that, the Cavalier lead is cut down to 10 on the bucket from Young. Knight against Carter. Love kicks to Henson. Here's Nance. Rebounded by the Hawks. They're coming off that win against Minnesota.
And anytime you come off the bench, you know your role. And that night, it was about scoring.
Well, good collective team unity. Everyone pitching in, so trying to win for one another. That's a good thing.
Young outside. And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. Is on Colin Sexton.
Yeah, just never easy trying to guard Young without fouling. He is great at finding ways to create these calls. And I'll tell you, Trae Young, go big or go home. Always gives you 100%, as competitive as they come. And the young fella wants to win so badly, sometimes that emotion really comes out.
And he knocks down the first one. And you know, Greg, it's amazing the impact Young makes, especially, of course, on the offensive end.
High-level shot maker, a threat the moment he crosses half court. Instinctive playmaker, just needs to play more within himself and avoid over-dribbling.
And so Young nails them both.
Pretty obvious Young believes in his ability. A fearless shooter who also does a good job at orchestrating the offense.
And here's Sexton. And you know the points will always be there for him. He's averaging just a shade under 20 points a game right now. Here's Love. And the basket for the 4th time from the field. He's a healthy 4 for 6.
Yeah, Love can hurt you down there. He uses his body as a shield, creates the space, got in tight, finished that one off.
Len dishes to Young. And the foul on John Henson. That's his first foul. Bembry's checked in for Atlanta. Here's Turner. He's averaging a bit over 5 points a game. Henson against Len. Down to 5 on the shot clock. A floater. Count it. And the Cavalier lead has been cut down to 8 on the bucket from Young.
Beautiful execution from him, building off a great first quarter, looking unstoppable here.
Knight finds Love. And Sexton has it in the corner. A 3-pointer off the mark. Hawks have gone 8 of 11 from the field in the second quarter. Really flowing here. And it's Carter missing.
Man, it just hurts to miss shots like this. Mentally, you question yourself, and it can affect your confidence.
And Sexton slams it in.
And this is why you got to prevent Sexton from getting in the lane. Once he does, he just explodes towards the basket.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Kevin, the league has unveiled a 5-point plan to improve player-referee relations. Things became heated last season with a lot of star players ejected for arguing with officials. The emphasis on respect and clear standards of conduct on both sides can only help. Kevin?
Very good point, David. Completely agree. Thanks. Bembry kicks to Young. There's the pass to Carter. Back to Young. The Cavaliers leading by 12. Nance outside. Left side, Knight. And, oh, here we go. Carter's got it in the fast break chance. And the bucket is good. Three-point play chance here for him.
And nicely done. Running the floor well, then attacking the rim.
The exclamation point in transition with the high percentage finish.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
And with a percentage of 82, he's been one of their more dependable shooters from the line.
Jabari Parker's checked in for Benbury. Ante Zizic is checked in for Cleveland.
One shot, mind the lanes.
Brent, I'm sure there were times, and you've won 2 championships where you thought you were going to win a title, and it didn't happen.
I'll go back to the first night that I thought potentially we were going to win a title with San Antonio, and that was in the 2005 finals against Detroit. We had come back home for a Game 6 that I thought we were going to win, and we did not. And sort of the pressure that mounted after that game to know that we were going to a Game 7 and had lost an opportunity where we really did feel coming off a Game 5 we were going to win. It certainly elevated the intensity of the Game 7, which we eventually won at home for our title in 2005.
They get it again. Sexton got him with the pump fake, but couldn't finish. The Hawks trail by 9. And Young kicks to Turner. Here's the teardrop. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. That one on Nance.
Well, it's been interesting so far for Alex Len as the league has moved away from big men playing on the block about how he's going to improve his game to stay in the NBA for as long as he wants.
The first free throw is good. A new head coach, Lloyd Pierce, is looking to bring a defensive approach to the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, Pierce has the resume you would want from a defensive coach. He came up in those teams in Memphis during the grit and grind time and learned some defensive techniques from Brett Brown in Philadelphia. Helped them last year on the defensive end to be a much stingier defense in the league.
Both free throws good from Len. Well, you knew it wouldn't last forever. Couldn't last forever. LeBron's departure in the offseason, a huge blow to this Cleveland franchise.
And it's going to be talk and speculation as to why LeBron James left again. And that's going to continue all season long. But ultimately, the team, the city, they need to regroup. They need to reset. They need to think about their future. And they did a good job of gathering assets and some youth in the departure of LeBron James. But, man, that's a hole they're never going to fill, Kevin.
Count it, and the Cavalier lead has been cut down to 5 on the bucket from Young.
This is a guy whose mindset just never changes. Even when they're losing, he's always going to be aggressive.
Now here is Dellavedova. 7 points in the game. Zizic kicks to Knight. 6 to shoot. And he banks in the layup. Knight's got his second bucket tonight.
They're doing a really good job of getting the ball inside and attacking the paint. That's an area they have completely dominated.
Young's shot is off.
You can't afford to let guys get comfortable there. The defense somehow avoided that shot from going in.
Right wing lets it fly from 18. And that one hits back iron. And so Young will bring it up for the Hawks. Up next for them is the Pacers in Indianapolis. That's game 1 of a 3-game road trip. And he converts the layup. Young's got 13 points in just this quarter.
Great quarter for him at the offensive end, trying to will his team back in the game.
Knight passes to Jones. Shoots over Turner. Tries again. Pass to Zizic. And Jones has it in the corner. Misses the 3. It's tipped. The Hawks trail by 5. Inside, Turner. Count the bucket coming off a perfectly placed assist. Turner's got 5 now.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
Now here is Dellavedova. He's covered closely. There's 45 seconds left to play in the first half. From 12 feet out. Rebound by the Hawks. Land's got double-digit rebounds now in the game. Carter with the 3. And Jones pulls it down.
Just a little lackluster so far with his effort. He's been very limited due to his poor shooting.
And the shot is good. 8 points for Henson.
Now, this is where he should operate. Henson has developed his skills, but has limited range.
Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Young against Knight. Here's Young. He had 31 points in the win against Minnesota. Carter with the 3. Second shot opportunity, and Henson sends it back.
Well, he's a great shot blocker. Henson still trying to bring the rest of his game up to that level.
And that's it for the first half of action. What's been a very close game here. Cavaliers lead by 5. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much. Brandon, what's the key to the second half?
I think we're doing all right. But we always want to improve. We always want to get better. And we just want to apply the principles that we applied throughout the week. So I think we did a good job, early on. Then we started to get fatigue and get a little bit tired. So I think we got to continue to play through adversity.
Well, we'll see if you can find your second win in the second half. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks for the great interview, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of basketball following halftime.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, folks. Welcome back. This is Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal at 2K Sports. Let's talk first half. Cleveland did not hesitate to set the pace. They had great chemistry early on, both offensively and defensively, stringing together an impressive 8-0 run to jump on top early. And by the end of one, they found themselves up by a rousing 17 points. Momentum shifted quite a bit during the second quarter, as did their scoring, but they still hold a 4-point lead at the break. Kenny, your thoughts? How are the Cavaliers playing?
Well, they made a concerted effort to get out on the fast break. Dunks, alley-oops, run the lanes at every opportunity, and it's wearing the defense down.
And Shaq, what'd you see from Atlanta?
Reminds me of Kenny's suit selection. Has been very, very sloppy. Way too many turnovers. They look unorganized, out of control. It's not pretty basketball. The good news, though, they're still in a great position to win the game if they just cut down the turnovers.
And that does it for our halftime show. We now take you back to Kevin Harlan for the start of the third period.
And we're halfway through this one. Plenty of basketball left in a game that's been fairly even so far. It's been one outstanding game from Trae Young.
And I just love how aggressive he is. Usually tries to work for the best shot that he can.
Well, we saw that in the first half, and he's constantly on the move and slipping behind the eyes of the defense to work closer to the rim.
Second half of basketball upon us. We may be in for an exciting finish based on how close of a game that's been so far. The Cavaliers leading by 5 on the court for Cleveland. The forwards are Osman and Love. Jordan Clarkson is out there with Sexton. And it's Thompson in at the center. Sexton kicks to Love. Pass to Thompson. Cleveland moving it around. Hands of the ball is out of bounds. Clarkson touched it last.
And Jordan Clarkson is a player who is looking for his shot whenever he gets the ball. Can distribute enough, but it isn't his top priority. Very dangerous when left alone outside.
Here's Young. And a rebound goes to the Cavaliers. Thompson's got rebound number 5 here tonight. Here's Love. Lays it up and in on the nice reverse. Love's got the first points of the second half up on the board for the Cavs. Here's Young. Love grabs the board. Love's got 7 rebounds in the game. And with Clarkson as good as he is outside, Greg, he prefers to shoot off the dribble than on the catch.
Yeah, and it's why Clarkson gets labeled a high-volume, low-efficiency guy. Terrific on catch-and-shoot chances. I think if he played more towards his strengths, he could put together a career year.
The Hawks trail by 7. A little over a minute gone here in the second half. Out to the right wing. Crab from long range.
They look frustrated. 0 for 3. Not how you want to start the third quarter.
Now here's Sexton, defended by Young. Sexton with it. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up. And Colin Sexton, when it comes to scoring, the man shows you a little bit of everything.
Loves to drive it, loves to attack inside, improving his consistency from range. But what I love about him is the aggressiveness. This guy is always in attack mode.
Free throw good, Sexton.
And how about the explosiveness of Sexton? A crafty floor general who is consistent in how hard he attacks the defense.
And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time. Well, you just look at the talent that left the Hawks over the last few seasons, Brent. Easy to see why they needed to start over.
Yeah, it started with Al Horford and his departure, and then Teague and Millsap did the same. And hard for any franchise to remain competitive when you lose that many quality players, especially their chemistry in Budenholzer's system. Arguably a great fit for one another, and now off to doing bigger and better things.
Finally, they get one to drop. That's one of their first 4 here in the third.
Into the third we go. 2 minutes in now. To the paint. Knocks it loose. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Cavaliers will retain possession. Love finds Clarkson. Over in the corner, Osman.
Yeah, the offense scuffling a bit to start this second half. Only 1 for the first 5.
Yeah, just not good court awareness there. You cannot afford to be careless. That just leads to bad turnovers.
The Hawks trail by 7. Over to the left wing. Now Crab passes it to Jones. Shot from 16. Got a piece of it. And so it's Thompson with it. He'll bring it up for the Cavaliers. They've only allowed 2 points so far here in the second half.
And checking out the numbers for Young. Unbelievable play for him over the last month. Putting up 26 points per, almost 3 steals and 6 assists. They're loving how he's running the show here. His sensational passing really breathing life into their offense.
Something in the coach's playbook here where the schemes fire on all cylinders. When he's in the game, a great conduit for them offensively. He knows where everyone is at all times.
Timeout called, Cleveland.
And Kevin, he saw his guys just a little sluggish out there. Oftentimes a timeout like this allows you to kind of just reset.
And a chance here to see our rookie watch. The biggest point-producing freshman over the last 10 games. Trae Young on top. Second is Colin Sexton.
Obviously, 2 of the hottest young players in the league right now, guys. I mean, starting to demonstrate the kind of offensive firepower that they can bring to the table.
Love the pass to Clarkson. Rebound, Atlanta.
Well, the D did their job there. Excellent contest to alter the close ranger.
Now here's Crab. He's tightly guarded. On the basket by Jones.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Now here's Sexton, defended by Young. Sexton dishes to Love. Here's the pass to Osman. Here's Clarkson. Drops in the tray. Clarkson's got 7.
Well, the defense very attentive to him in the first quarter, but he's finally gotten loose in the second and making them pay.
A floater. Young's shot is off.
And gotta like what they've been doing down low in the post.
Down low. And that one's good. Osman. Now it's a 7-point Cleveland lead.
Nice job getting inside for the layup. Got the D thinking. Jump shot. Gave a little pump fake. And then off to the races.
Right side Jones. Stolen by Thompson. And here's the fast break. Love leading the way. Here's Osman. Second shot opportunity. Love, no good.
Ooh, the D did just enough to keep him from scoring. Thought that was in for sure.
And yes, it's good. He's got 7.
Allen Crabbe showing another part of his game, not just a three-point shooter spotting up, but a distributor on that play.
Now here's Sexton. D right on him. And Thompson kicks to Clarkson. Now here's Sexton, defended by Young. Just 5 on the clock. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. And Allen Crabbe, a strong shooter from outside, but he can still be a bit streaky, Greg, at times.
Yeah, I mean, he'll joke with himself that when he's off, he plays like Allen, but when he's on, he's playing like AC. I mean, he uses that Jekyll and Hyde motivation to make sure he stays aggressive on offense. The team and coaching staff are in on it as well, as they know a hot Crabbe is a handful to deal with.
Free throw good, Sexton. Parker's checked in for Young. Then for the Cavaliers, Nancy's checked in for Love. And Knight subbed in for Clarkson. So he gets them both.
Kevin, these are easy points. Remember, free throws.
The dish to Parker. Nice ball movement here by Atlanta. Now here's Crabbe. D right on him. The 3. Jones trying to get open. Tries again. And it's Collins getting it to go. Collins has got 6 points.
They're scoring boatloads of buckets. It's raining buckets from inside.
And here's Sexton. He's got 10. Shoots. The shot by Knight, no good. Ball's knocked loose. To the inside. It's stolen by Nance. Here's Osman. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
This is his first free throw of the game.
76% at the stripe for him thus far this season.
And the first one drops.
You look at the roster turnover that the Cavs have had the last few seasons. A lot of trades made, some hits and some misses. And you know the front office willing to make some deals to try to get this train back on the right track.
Looking at who's out there now for the Hawks. Alex Len's checked in for Jones. Turner comes in for Collins. And it's White in for Crabbe. And good on the second, so he makes them both. And with the trades this Cavs team has made, several blockbuster deals in the last few years.
Well, they have a tough payroll situation that they're trying to deal with and manage and manipulate. And it's tough for a young GM to try to find a way between sticking with what they've done, or is it a time to try to start to develop something for their future? You give them credit for doing everything in their power to still compete.
And he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. Well, Greg, for Atlanta, it was out with the old and in with the new for the point guard position for the Hawks.
And Hawks were able to trade down and still get the guy they wanted in Young. See him as an impact guard to build around for the future. Had to move Schroeder to free up space for Young, but this team now has a clear core to build around.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
First free throw is good.
How many chapters last year were there to the Cavs season? A lot of player movement, a lot of drama in the locker room, and obviously trying to find their way back to the NBA Finals, which they eventually did. So would we say a successful year overall? Probably, but a little mismatched.
Second free throw, no good. And for all the things the Cavs went through last season, Brent, they still managed to get 50 wins.
They're good enough for the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference last year. I wonder if they were not a home team, if they would have gotten back to the finals. It would have been interesting with all the additions to that roster, trying to come up with a makeshift offense around LeBron James, if they would have gotten to his 8th finals last year. Pushed to the limit several times, but ultimately appearing again in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, bad shot there. Trust is lacking. You got to be willing to make the extra pass.
Yeah, just too anxious to try and make something happen out there. This is about the team, not about you.
Atlanta making a switch here. Parsons is checked in. The Hawks trail by 6. Turner looking around. He kicks to Parker. Fades away and sinks the tough shot. Parker's got his 3rd basket of the night right there.
Now Parker taking it over right now. A capable shooter from any spot on the floor.
Knight, the bounce pass. Turner covering. Dishes to Nance. 6 on the shot clock. That one drops for him. And the Cavaliers lead by 6. And so it's Turner with it. He brings it up for Atlanta. He dishes it to Parker. To the paint. Here's Len, and Henson sends it back. Outside Knight. The shot off that time, so the Hawks will take it the other way.
Yeah, tonight his shot's been a bit off, but still, they lead the game.
Crabs checked in for the Hawks. So it's the Hawks now. 6-point game. Turner finds Len. Back to Turner. Nice ball movement here by Atlanta. And out of bounds. The Cavaliers will take it. Here's what the Atlanta Hawks have lined up on their schedule. On Monday, they'll be taking on Victor Oladipo and the Indiana Pacers. Then on Wednesday, they'll take on John Wall and the Washington Wizards.
And, you know, nobody loves playing on the road, but it does offer a good chance to see exactly what your team is made of. This team is going to find out a lot about itself over the next stretch of games.
Here's Knight. Len grabs the board. Len's got rebound number 12 now. Tenacity on the glass. There's Crabbe with the 3. That falls. Nice feed that time from Turner. Crabbe's got 5.
And that's his forte. Crabbe with perfect shot mechanics and tremendous range on that 3.
Knight kicks to Thompson. Pass to Sexton. Len against Henson. Len grabs the board.
And you got to give him credit there. Great effort to contest that shot.
Well, I love the fact that they put the security system on their house, protecting the paint there.
And the Hawks making a change here. Young's checked in. The Hawks trail by 3. And for Trae Young, it's a little unfair that he's already being compared to Steph Curry.
Scouts are always going to look for comparisons, and I'm not saying Young is Curry, but many of the strengths and weaknesses are similar. The size and athleticism, the insane range, and both have that it factor.
And he knocks down the first one. Off on that one, so he goes 1 for 2 at the line. Cleveland's gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. Young against Knight. Pass to Nance. 6 to shoot. Kicks to Henson. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. And this break gives us a moment to look at the leading playmakers among rookies for the past 10 games. Trae Young on top. Second is Colin Sexton.
Good passing is such a vital element to winning basketball, and you really have to think their teams are pleased with the way they're playing right now.
Young outside.
Yeah, his shot just doesn't seem to be synced up right now. Here's hoping he finds it soon, because his team is really going to need that production tonight.
You know, we've seen this with Sexton in college, and he can get into a zone and just take over a game offensively.
Young passes to Len. Over Nance. Len dishes to Turner. Now here's Cram, covered by Nance. Len's shot is off. Cleveland leading by 4. Poked loose. Passes it to Thompson. A reverse. It's tipped, and they'll keep possession. They shoot again, and Nance with the layup.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Atlanta's gone into the three-point range 4 times since halftime and buried 2 of them. Out to Parker from deep. Cavaliers with the rebound. Henson's got his 5th rebound right now in the game.
And you know what? He's just not on his game. No doubt about it. Their deficit isn't totally on him, but he has not been an asset for his team.
Hard for opposing teams to box out Nance because of all the activity that Larry Nance Jr. has. Plays alive on every possession.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Count that one, and the Cleveland lead has been cut down now to just 6 points with that basket from Young. And so Knight will bring it up for the Cavaliers. 17 points was their biggest margin. And the basket is good, and he's got a chance here for 1 more at the line.
I'm sorry, that's poor defense down low again. It's been a mismatch thus far in the paint.
And the Hawks making a change here. Jones is checked in. Love's checked in for Cleveland. Clarkson comes in for Sexton. And that one falls for Knight.
Well, Knight as a decisive guard can be much better than when he's out there thinking through plays.
And Young kicks to Crabbe to the wing right side. Got a piece of it. Back to Parker. Cavaliers with the rebound. Thompson's got 9 rebounds now tonight. We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And that one good from Clarkson. Clarkson's got 9.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
There's 18 seconds left to play in the third. Young against Knight. Now, here is Young. He's got 21. And he gets it to go. Young's got 23 points.
Solid there, just recognizing when to drive. When Young has some wiggle room, he seizes it.
And we've reached the end of the third. Cleveland ahead, up 9. And do not go away, as we'll be back in just a few moments with the start of our 4th quarter coming up next. And while we can now, let's take a look at today's State Farm assist of the game.
And I'm glad this was the pick because I love this pass. Such a great dish. That's what I call court vision.
Well, a great job with the eyes. And what separates great playmakers, as we know, Greg, is peripheral vision.
The fourth quarter has arrived. So good to have you with us. The Hawks trail by 9. Crabb is out there with Young. Then it's Collins. Then it's Jones. And it's Parker in at the small forward. So that's the lineup for Atlanta. Here's Crabb. Good on the three-point shot.
Boy, they've been terrific from beyond here in the second.
The Cavaliers leading by 6. Clarkson finds Nance. Now Thompson. Nance outside. Another shot. And they call the foul, so a chance at the line for one more coming up.
And they have built their advantage on the scoreboard here by doing all the little things.
Greg, what are some of the positives that Tristan Thompson's play brings to the team?
Still a very efficient scorer on the shots that he does take. And he lives mostly inside the paint. And still a strong offensive rebounder. But his days of being a threat on the offensive end as the game has evolved seems to kind of gone away.
Thompson no good on the free throw.
And they're doing a better job of working themselves to the line here in the second half.
There's Crabb with a 3. Gets it to go from beyond the arc.
Yeah, the D with very little pressure on their perimeter shooters. 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been from beyond.
Clarkson kicks to Love. A few possessions into the fourth quarter, just over a minute played. From the baseline. And all around the rim that time before dropping in. And the Cavaliers lead by 7. Young with the ball. Parker outside. Young outside. And there's the call on Jetty Osman. That's his 5th foul.
And that's 5. One more and he'll be disqualified. Got to be more careful.
First minute and a half of basketball played here in the fourth quarter. Here's Collins. Out to Parker. Just 5 to shoot. From the arc. And that's collected by Love. Love's got 11 rebounds in the game. Osman. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
And with the offense getting right to the rim, at least they saved the layup.
And the first one drops. And he can't hit the second.
And just a better job of getting to the line here in the second half. Didn't get there once in the first.
Count it, and the Cavalier lead has been cut down to just 6 points on the bucket from Crabb.
You know, you hear that A word all the time, aggressive, and sometimes just being that can turn your game around. He's been that in the second half, their go-to guy here.
Clarkson passes to Osman. Cleveland moving the ball around, and the dunk by Love.
Yeah, I mean, maybe could have tried for a more memorable dunk than that one.
And we know he's capable of those memorable ones. And so Young will bring it up for the Hawks. Collins dishes to Young. Jones kicks to Crab. Off target with his 3.
Rare you'll see him miss such an open look.
Osman, the pass to Thompson. And there it is for him. Thompson's got 4 this quarter.
Tough for teams to combat Tristan Thompson's physical play down there on the inside. Even when you get a hand up, he's capable of draining the shot.
Time called here. The Hawks decide to talk it over.
And one thing they'll discuss are their defensive rotations. The other is in the matchups.
We're seeing very little help defense on the inside, and even when there is help, it's been ineffective.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
I was able to listen in on Lloyd Pierce talking with his team. He's not satisfied with their effort level. He said, we're not hustling out there, guys. We are not going to win that way. I promise you. We've got to get after it. We'll see how his team responds.
Inside, Collins. And finished off by Collins.
And didn't do anything fancy there, but didn't need to.
Nope, his only concern right now is getting the points on the board. And I don't mean style points. Timeout called the Cavaliers. And when you watch Collins play, Greg, you just can't help but notice how athletic he is going to the rim.
Man, his hang time and ability to throw it down make him an ideal finisher inside. Very efficient because he's not only a strong finisher, but also enjoys attacking the rim. And does a great job, I think, of picking up misses, just being a pest for the defense.
Love kicks to Clarkson to the middle. Here's Sexton. He scores his 5th field goal. He's taken 9 shots to get those 5.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
The Hawks trail by 10. The pass to Crab. And that's a foul called on Colin Sexton. That will get him his 4th foul of the game. Do you see a lot of player tampering right now in the NBA?
Well, how do you define it, Kevin?
Well, if a player wants to go out and recruit other players that may be under contract with another team.
I see that a lot then, Kevin. I mean, it happens all the time. Players talking about what are you thinking about doing and about, wow, don't you think this would be great if we could get together on the floor in 2021? Let's try to.
But management doing it is a completely different animal.
Management cannot do it, although some teams have walked that tightrope a little bit to the point where they've fallen off in recent years. But the idea of players not ever talking to one another about the potential of being together.
Come on, right?
It's always happening.
And they're just living beyond the arc here, really the entire 4th quarter.
Yeah, not a bad time to be ripping the nets from distance, piling up some major points here.
The Cavaliers leading by 5. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
And the nature of the beast. Sexton is just constantly in attack mode, looking to make a play.
Free throw good, Sexton. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time. The Hawks trail by 7. The dish to Parker. There's Crab with a 3. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. Parker's got 5 assists tonight.
Yeah, the first half was really tough, but he's really rounded a corner here and been fantastic shooting the ball here in the second half.
Sexton's shot is good. Sexton's got 12 points in just the second half.
Yeah, it's not so much just the made shots, it's the consistency of the made shots that's got his team the lead.
And stolen by Sexton. Got it. Number 7 on the night. 7 for 11 from the floor.
And the quick active hands of Sexton on display, creating a turnover there, just jump-starting the fast break.
There's Crab with the 3. Thompson with the rebound. Thompson's got 11 rebounds in the game.
And really credit their advantage on the backboard. That's where the lead has been built, and that's why they are in control. Tremendous effort. I mean, this guy has already cracked double digits on the backboard.
Well, rooting out guys for his position and then outworking them, so you add fundamentals with the effort. Leader by example. He's been a little bit disappointing in this game. However, his team has his back. You need a little bit more help from him.
The defense a step slow, and you can see the results.
Cleveland leading by 5. Now Sexton. Out to Thompson. Here's Love. Got it. Number 7 on the night. 7 for 11 from the floor.
Well, Love is awesome at reading the defense. When they're not up on him, he's going to let it rip.
And Sexton over to help. And we're going to have a jump ball. It's tied up there. So it's the Cavaliers now. Thompson dishes to Sexton. He kicks to Love. Over Collins. And he gets that one to go off the front iron. And now a 9-point Cavalier lead. Dishes to Parker. Pass to Crabbe. Jones looking for an opening. Shot clock at 6. It's Parker outside. Another 3 for Atlanta.
That's a dozen straight points coming off the triple.
Cleveland leading by 6. And here's Sexton. Pass to Clarkson. Releases. And Cleveland again with the bucket.
Sexton has to just keep developing his court awareness. You want to see more passing from him.
So it's the Hawks now. Passes it to Crabbe. Collins kicks to Jones. Back to Collins. Stolen by Clarkson. And here we go. Fast break. Love's got it. The shot by Sexton, no good. The Hawks trail by 8. To the middle. Here's Parker. And he uses the glass on the layup.
Pretty calm in the paint there from Jabari, taking his time and getting the shot that he wanted.
One item that stood out, their ball movement.
Things are definitely clicking, and more importantly, it makes it really hard to defend.
Sexton the pass to Thompson. And here's Love for 3. And no good that time. And that's a foul called on Colin Sexton. That will be foul number 5 on him. Young's checked in for John Collins. And Cleveland with a change here too. John Henson's checked in for Thompson. And it's Jones with the ball for the Atlanta Hawks. They trail by 6. And Young kicks to Parker. And a lot of contact on that one, so he'll shoot 2 here. And looking at Jabari Parker, 6'8", about 250 pounds. Greg, what's his best position?
You know, I think he has a small forward skill, but with the way the game is changing, you could see him play some power forward as well. And I think his best fit might just be at the 4 because of the mismatch he can create.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
No good on that one. Well, the fans happy to see Jabari Parker healthy and doing what he does best. Brent, talk about what makes him, in your opinion, so special.
Well, just how many comebacks he's had and just how much fortitude he's shown so far in the early part of his career. Lots of comparisons early on to Melo and to Grant Hill. And he's capable of carrying a team offensively. Just nice to see him on the floor.
How about these big shots for him in the 4th? He has been locked and loaded offensively.
Young finds Parker. He gets that one. Parker's got 8 here in the quarter.
And what a turnaround from the first half. I mean, he's been incredible here in the second half.
Sexton the pass to Osmond. On the wing, Thompson. Here's Sexton. That's in, coming off the assist from Thompson. Thompson's got 4 assists in the game.
You know, the timing, the rhythm, I'm a big fan of when Sexton can just catch and shoot.
And the call on the shot that sends him to the line. Sexton, and so he's picked up his final foul, and he will sit for the rest of this game. And the Cavaliers making a change here. Dellavedova's checked in.
Shooting 2.
That free throw good from Young. Jones checked in for the Hawks. Knight's checked in for Cleveland. Both shots good from the stripe. Here is Knight. And the pass to Osman. Out of bounds. It'll go to the Hawks. The Hawks trail by 5. Now, here is Young. Pass to Parker. Two free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
So you draw the defense into you deep, and then you wait, and then you get confident down low to draw contact.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
That free throw, no good.
The team just cannot get into a groove from the free throw line. It's a common problem for them.
Good on the second free throw.
Listen, they're still right in this thing. Missing that free throw, though, keeps this a 2-possession deficit.
Right side, Knight. Love outside. In the corner, it's Clarkson. Here's Thompson. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
Well, Thompson's out there to throw his weight around. He did it that time.
The first one, and that puts them up by 5.
Tristan Thompson is one of the best offensive rebounders in the NBA. So to do that, you can't be afraid to throw your weight around.
Rabs checked in for Atlanta. Second one is good. Getting both at the line, and it's a 6-point ball game.
And those attempts right now at the charity stripe are helping them pull away.
And here's Young. He'll bring it up for the Hawks. Shoots from the high post and misses it off the right side of the rim.
No doubt disappointed with that one. He'd love to have that one back.
Yeah, I'd put that play on repeat. The setup was perfect. Just need a better result next time.
To the middle. Here's Love. Good D by Jones.
The defensive reaction time, it was just immediate on that one.
And sometimes the most important part of that is the angle that the defender chooses. That time, he chose wisely.
2 shots, gentlemen.
So the first one drops, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And the Hawks making a change here. Turner's checked in. A switch here also for Cleveland. Nance is checked in. And he hits both free throws here. So now it's an 8-point game. We've got 1:18 left to play here in the fourth. Young inside. He's guarded by Knight. Nance outside. Knight looking it over. To the paint. Here's Love. Yes, and Knight with the assist that time. And the Cavaliers lead by 10.
Guys, I think this is a game they have to feel good about as we wind through the final moments here in what looks to be a solid win for Cleveland.
And one area that stands out that we've seen tonight from them, their aggressiveness in getting steals, something I know that you really value yourself.
I think it sparked their offense. It deflates the opposition. And when you have the type of effort we saw tonight, it's pretty hard to overcome that defensive pressure down the stretch.
And so this will mark the 15th win of the year for them.
They were really smart in the use of that game plan tonight. Used it in their first 2 games against this team, which equaled to 2 wins.
And you know, guys, what a nice performance it was for Colin Sexton.
That's amazing defense from him. Seemed to know exactly when to pounce on the passing lanes and predictive steals.
Collins kicks to Young. Grab the pass to Young. There's 42 seconds left in the game. And he's fouled pretty hard on that shot, but he's got the chance to pick up the points at the line.
You know, you can't be overzealous inside when you guard Young. You got to be better at contesting without fouling.
Shooting 2.
Good on the first, and that brings them within single digits. And a tough break as his second attempt at the line, no good.
Now the team's struggling to come back. He really wanted all of those free throws.
Back to Knight. At the elbow, it's Thompson. Inside. And Brandon Knight the bucket on the assist by Thompson. And the Cavaliers lead by 11.
And saving their best for last. Tremendous run here to seal the win.
And you could just see everything coming together like a perfect storm, and they just rolled on through.
Time called here. The Hawks decide to talk it over. They're trailing by 11. 19 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. Knight against Young. Fouled on the shot and picks up 2 points. So 1 free throw coming up.
Yeah, just exceptional focus on these hard finishes. Young welcomes getting physical on the way up.
That's good from Young. 12 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Pass to Love. The 11-footer. That one doesn't drop. And so it's Cleveland winning this one. A solid win on the road for them. This building was dead silent by the time, GA, this one wound down.
And that's what you want to do. Take the crowd out of it by crunch time. Don't give them any chance to lift their team up at the finish.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much, Brandon. Great win tonight. You were really diming your teammates up, and that seems like when you're having the most fun out there.
Definitely just get my guys going a lot more and, try to be more of a playmaker. And, I enjoy, seeing, getting guys going and them making shots off my passes.
Great job getting your teammates involved tonight, Brandon. Thanks again. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Brent Barry, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. And we'll see you next time.